You don't have to look at your phone to see how long it's been. I'll be done when this is done. Just thoughts on life, places and things that people see, the little moments in between. So set your phone down. It's a few minutes, you don't have to check alerts. Watch the little flowers in there, and there's a timer there. It's 15 minutes. I call them chronomopharies. They don't have any weight, but they have time and light. It's fascinating to me to see the things that different people see in them. You know, some person might notice the red and the blue. And then I started noticing the flower shape on the end. It's like a little cone with petals on it. But when you see them in the end, they look like wings, like they're flying. And it's funny, there's bugs in the background. But it's just amazing the things that it could be the same daisy at the beach or wherever that you see. I might sit there and see the daisy in the sunset. That's what I would see. Some people would see their grandmother. That same thing, it's the same flower. But it represents different things to different people, and even looking at it, one of my favorite things to see in a flower is if you look really close, and this is something you miss if you don't take the time to observe something. Just looking up and seeing the tree is one thing, but if you sit and watch it, you can see the branches move. So like in a flower, one of the things I really like to do is in the wind, it jiggles, it does a dance. The stem moves in the wind, and the little flower kind of rocks back and forth at the end of the stem. But those little petals that are all around it, there's I can't think of the name of it, it's like a little mini daisy, I call it. But it's got these little white petals all around it, like little feathers. And when the wind blows, you can see them like, it's like a wave that goes around. You can imagine if it was really big, you could see it in the wind, but if you look close, you can see it in the flower. And it's one of those things that you just have to take a moment to see. Like if you watch the moon, I think it takes about 80 seconds to move one moon over. But if you sit there and just kind of look at it behind the trees, even if you just look 5 minutes later, you can see it moving. But it's sometimes you got to take an extra minute to have that perception of time, and you get something else in it. It's like when you look out in a field of grass, beautiful, just rolling grass, something running through it, I don't know, leprechaun or something. But if you sit and watch the grass for a few seconds, you can actually see the waves in the wind. But if you didn't wait, you'd never see it. Like those beautiful rows of flowers you drive by when they're in a field, and you can see all the little rows in between in the flowers. But if you look at it and the wind's blowing, you can see all those flowers, like as the wind goes through them, they'll like move like in a wave. If you've never seen it, look for it. You go to like the park when the wind's blowing, when the grass hasn't been cut, and there's waves in the grass. Just give you a moment to hear what I'm hearing. It's quiet. There's a freeway, which is just like that. Every once in a while there's a motorcycle, and then sometimes there's a truck, but most often there's small vehicles, but they're like in a pattern almost. So I find it kind of calming. Every 2 hours a helicopter goes over. But this up there in the background is, oh, you can't see it, but there's a tree up there. And just watch yours. And the branches they stick out, and you look and it looks nice, but if you watch it, after about 30 seconds, your eyes will start seeing the motion, and you can even tell your brain to look for movement, you know, like you're looking for a dog in a field. And you can see the little twitches on the branches. The leaves on the ends move when it shakes a little faster. When it shakes slower, the whole branch will move. But I can see my tree. Look up at yours. Even the flags, you can see it on. You can hang a ribbon outside. But the tree, if you've got one, just look at it for a few seconds and watch what it does. Even if it's not moving, you start to see more of the color in it. But like, it takes that second to see it. Like today, I see the tree standing still. There's barely any wind. Tomorrow I might see it with the wind blowing. But I didn't just see the tree. Today I saw it standing still. It's a different state of the tree. It's like a squirrel sitting or something, you know, it's something different. I use these bookmarks. That's why I take so many pictures. People don't realize that. You have something happen, you have to have something to remind you of it. I don't. I take a picture when I walk in the park. I take a picture when I get to work. I take a picture of people's feet. If I can't take their picture when I'm at dinner, sometimes I'll take a picture of the floor or the ketchup. But it's a bookmark. Every time I see that picture, I can go back to that place. But like, I didn't have to have something trigger it. It's like a little bookmarks on memories. It's kind of fun. It can be different things, just a calm day or something. I carry a rock around that I polished. It's got a hole in it drilled by water dripping, and it reminds me of everything from a couple months ago forward, because that's when I found it and made it and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. That little rock gives me a reminder of now. I could use another one in 3 years and it'd remind me of what I was doing now. But that one would too. It's, you know, like that one, when I pick it up, I'd see now. So it's kind of cool. You can actually hear the wood creaking in the tree. If you want to watch something, watch the little bugs there. Those little things in the high voltage chamber look like they have wings. They look like flowers or something. And there's little petals on the ends. You can't see them too good in the video, but there's little petals on the ends. Those fan type things, they're different shapes. It looks like a fan speeding up or slowing down. There's one on the left you can kind of see. And after you watch it for a while, you see different things. Like if you block out half of where the blue thing is, it looks like the ocean with lightning coming down. You just tell yourself the other side's a reflection, and you can almost see it if you turn your phone. The outside and the inside are different. Like the outside's probably more positive because that's probably the negative electrode. So like if you flipped it around, it would be different. Now you turn your light down, quite frequently what it does is it pulses less. So like when the flies go over that hourglass, you can partly see them because I turn the light that's on it down, so it's, instead of being on all the time, it's on a part of the time. So that's a very small part of the time. It's actually a way to slow down stuff. Even just with your regular little lamp, you put it on dim and it'll make like a strobe light. Let's see, watch. And over here in front of the thing, it's, oh, that's the same light, but here. That's front lighting, and that's just the top. But there's a bug, but it's not flying over there. Let's see if I can make some smoke. Well, that didn't work too well. It's important to have calm moments. Where you can just sit and breathe. Think about some random thing in life. make up a little place to go to. I do this when I go to sleep. I don't always use it, but you make a park or somewhere, a bench you can sit. Mine's sometimes at a lake in Tempe, but I sit there and I can put someone else there, I can make it rain, and I use that place to be calm, and I can go there and it's only got what I put in there. It's important to take calm moments. It's cloudy and you can see the tint of the city lights on it. It's a little pink if you look for it. Cars are going by. The trees are very still, remarkably so. Think about something calm, lay back and look at the stars. You can sit in a dark room and imagine what you're touching is with you, like your chair. But without your vision there and your eyes open though, it's easier to tempt your brain. So you tell yourself that chair is at the lake. You've got all the lights turned off and you tell yourself that chair is at the lake. It's relaxing. There's a blue ribbon on the hourglass, the other side's green. I actually time it to see if it's the same both ways. It doesn't take me much extra time. There's something about the night air. It just is enthralling and calming to me. It's like some people don't want to sit in the cemetery at night. I think it's peaceful. Sometimes you can almost feel the people there, but it's a very calm place. The trees, it's just made to be serene. It's like art. And it's meant to be a quiet place, so why not be quiet there? And then you can see the moon come down and light up the trees. Moonlight is just beautiful. There's cameras for taking pictures at night. You can get as an app. Take a picture of a cemetery or your yard at night with the full moon out. You get some crazy light. It'll look like it's daylight. The sky will even be brighter. And it's just the moonlight. But you can't see it as much because your eyes aren't that sensitive. But if you take a longer picture, you can actually see it. So you can see where the moon makes shadows and stuff in your yard. It's pretty insane. I think it's absolutely beautiful. You get one of those cameras that says nighttime or night something or long exposure. It's like those pictures that have the branches shaking and that are fuzzy. People think it's kind of messed up, but I think it's cool. It's not like an error in the picture. It's showing the branches that were moving while they took it. Very slow, subtle changes you don't always see, but the more you look for them, you can enhance your senses and see them. Like if you listen for the way something sound changes or watching the branches move, your brain gets more attuned to minute differences. Just even the waves and the smoke, if you just look, it's like, oh, that's cool. But if you watch it swim, the way the little smoke strings from like an incense or something will move, it's really beautiful. But you gotta like sit and watch like one little loop that comes up and watch it till it like vaporizes, because it's there. It won't be back again. Give it its little moment to observe it. Just one of them. One of those little smoke tones. They're actually really beautiful, but you have to take that minute to see the time in something. There's like someone waving or winking or walking or entering the room. It's not just that very moment. You don't see it if you're not watching videos. So it's the same with observing things. Give things a minute. Relax. Watch the tree. Watch your creamer stir around in your coffee. I always feel guilty when that's gone. Hourglass says, think peaceful thoughts. Episode 1 of a new series of thoughts. Toodles.